Hello, welcome to Critical Joke Theory with your host, G.D. Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humorist. Now with new joke technology. Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humorist at large, about losing weight. Welcome to Critical Joke Theory, episode 97. Now with new joke technology and 13% more snark, and opening caption for the humor impaired. Carl Dean, the longtime husband of country music legend Dolly Parton, has died at the age of 82. Parton met Dean outside the Wishy-Washy laundromat the day she moved to Nashville at age 18. Dolly said, quote, "I was surprised and delighted that while he talked to me, he looked at my face. A rare thing for me," close quote. So Dean had discipline. Parton described the meeting, saying, quote, "He seemed to be genuinely interested in finding out who I was and what I was about," close quote. Dean may have been thinking, "I bet she has a beautiful soul to go with those breasts." They married 2 years later on Memorial Day, May 30th, 1966, in a small ceremony in Ringgold, Georgia. Parton and Dean kept their relationship private for decades. Parton telling the Associated Press in 1984, quote, "A lot of people say there's no Carl Dean, that he's just somebody I made up to keep other people off me," close quote. Rest in peace, Carl. After nearly 60 years of marriage to Dolly, I imagine that resting in the bosom of the Lord is a downgrade. Former U.S. Congressman Lincoln Diaz-Balart, a prominent Cuban-American figure and longtime Republican politician, as well as a fierce advocate for Cuban democracy and immigrant rights, has passed away at the age of 70 from cancer. News of his death was made public by his younger brothers, Republican Representative Mario Diaz-Balart from Florida, and Jose Diaz-Balart, an anchor for NBC News and MSNBC. Lincoln served in the Florida House of Representatives from 1986 to 1989. He was later elected to the state Senate and served there until 1992. In 1993, he became a member of Congress, representing South Florida until 2011, and serving in the Foreign Affairs and Rules Committees in the House. When he retired from Congress in 2011, his brother Mario ran to replace him. Rest in peace, Lincoln. I don't know what ate at you more, the cancer or the current state of the Republican Party. Lynn Marie Stewart, star of Pee-wee's Playhouse and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, at 78, has reportedly died. Either she's dead or she isn't. Stewart's representative Betty Smith told People that the actress died on February 21st, just months after doctors discovered that she had a tumor. Told People? What people? Now, I can't report this unless I have a better source. Let's see here. Okay, we're good. I just saw it on TikTok. Stewart was a member of the Groundlings in the 70s, where she met Paul Reubens and Phil Hartman. Rest in peace, Lynn. May it always be sunny in the big funhouse in the sky. Both David Johansen, a punk legend and the last surviving member of the pioneering band the New York Dolls, and Buster Poindexter have died. Johansen, seen here looking like Mick Jagger having a personality crisis, died at 75. Poindexter was 73. Johansen had been living with cancer for nearly a decade and a brain tumor for 5 years, according to a Sweet Relief Musicians Fund fundraiser. Poindexter did not have cancer, but had difficulty living without Johansen. Rest in peace, David. I hope that it's not too hot for you. Roy Ayers, the king of neo soul, not to be confused with the digital funk band featuring Morpheus and Neo Anderson, has died at 84 years of age. Roy Ayers was the artist behind Everybody Loves Sunshine. His family confirmed his death after suffering a long illness. Long illness, in its later stages, resembles lung illness, according to the family entomologist. Ayers was a well-rounded professional musician, frequently collaborating with groove pioneer Herbie Mann, seen here suggesting that his flute has some skin on it. Ayers took the glassy, elongated tones of the vibraphone, the percussion instrument resembling a marimba or xylophone, and moved away from the up-tempo jazz sound pioneered by Lionel Hampton, seen here playing xylophone with meatballs. With Ayers' hands at the mallets, the vibes were remolded into a tool of spacey musical exploration. Quote, there was no written music scores or charts, according to Phil Wu, who played keys on Everybody Loves Sunshine. He had one chord which he would move around all over the place, very intuitively. Close quote. That chord was to an iPhone 5. Until recently, Ayers had been a frequent collaborator with contemporary hip-hop heavyweights such as Kanye West. Ayers also left a stamp on cinema as the composer for Coffee, the 1973 blaxploitation film that launched the career of Pam Grier. Pam Grier launched the Pocket Rockets of many a young man. Everybody Loves the Sunshine has more than 130 million streams on Spotify and has been remixed and covered by artists like Tupac and Mary J. Blige. Rest in peace, Roy. They say to err is human, but Ayers' music is divine. Representative Sylvester Turner, a first-term Democrat elected to represent Texas in November, died after suffering a medical emergency following Pretends a Lot Donald Trump's March 4th address to Congress. Turner was 70. He was 69 when Trump started his speech. Turner was the mayor of Houston from 2016 until 2024 and had attended the felon's speech and posted a video to X 30 minutes before the address around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, introducing his guest for the event, Angela Hernandez, who was advocating for her sick daughter who was suffering from a rare disease. Turner passed away early Wednesday morning in Washington, D.C., following, quote, enduring health complications, close quote. The health complication was being sick to the bone of hearing Trump lie. The former Houston mayor had battled osteosarcoma, a form of bone cancer, undergoing surgery, radiation, and reconstruction in recent years. Reflecting on their last conversations, Len Cannon, a KHOU 11 anchor, shared an eerie detail. Just months ago, they had discussed obituaries for other public figures. Quote, we were talking about someone else's declining health, Cannon said, and Turner reassured me, I'm fine, I'm all good. The doctors cleared me. It's just astounding to find out today that he's gone, close quote. Rest in peace, Sylvester. Your doctor may have cleared you, but you didn't clear your last hurdle. Actor Pamela Bach Hasselhoff, Baywatch actor and the ex-wife of David Hasselhoff, has died by suicide according to officials. She was 62. The county medical examiner disclosed the cause of death as suicide by a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Who saw that coming? Women usually don't kill themselves with guns. Men do that to them. A screen actor for more than 5 decades, Bach's first credit came as a child actor in 1973 with a guest appearance on The Young and the Restless. Her most extensive tenure on a series was Baywatch, playing various roles across 14 episodes through the 90s. Bach's time on Baywatch began shortly after she married series lead Hasselhoff. The pair had met during Bach's guest appearance on Knight Rider in the mid-80s. The two were wed in 1989 and had 2 daughters, Taylor and Haley. The couple divorced in 2006, with Bach accusing Hasselhoff of domestic abuse, an allegation that the actor denied at the time. He later changed the story to, oh, that abuse. Rest in peace, Pamela. Your career ended with a bang. If you or someone you know are considering committing suicide, please call 988, the National Suicide Hotline. But expect longer than usual wait times because Trump may be cutting their budget to save money for billionaire tax cuts. This update to Gene Hackman's condition. He's still dead. Gene Hackman died at 95 from coronary artery disease with advanced Alzheimer's disease as a contributing factor about a week after his wife Betsy Arcara, who died after contracting a rare virus. Ms. Arcara, 65, died in the same house from hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, HPS, a respiratory illness caused by exposure to infected rodents. Her cause of death was listed as natural causes because the rodents were free range. Authorities believe she passed away about 7 days before her husband, to whom she had been married for more than 30 years. It is also possible that in Gene Hackman's condition, he didn't realize that his wife was dead. And Betsy, having died a week earlier, did not know that Gene had died. Now, this is the part that has been bugging me about the whole ordeal. What about the dog? Well, authorities misidentified the deceased dog while investigating the deaths of actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arcar, according to a pet care specialist. The couple's German Shepherd named Bear survived, along with a second dog named Nikita, but their Kelpie mix, Xena's cause of death, has not been confirmed. It is possible that the 12-year-old animal, who was discovered in a closed kennel near Arcara's body, died of dehydration and starvation. You think? I will tell jokes about dead and dying people all day long, but I feel awful about the dog. And if Gene and Betsy weren't already dead, I'd have them prosecuted for starving their dog to death. The involuntary disassembling of a huge SpaceX rocket above South Florida led to massive headaches for air travelers who were forced to endure unexpected delays due to the company's latest mishap on Thursday. The FAA had to halt air traffic around Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and Orlando in fear of space launch debris following the SpaceX failure. This is the second such involuntary disassembling since January 16. Musk was under investigation from the previous explosion when Trump and Musk pressured the head of the FAA to resign. Trump's replacement, Chris Roccolo, appointed after the Potomac jet helicopter fatal collision, stopped the investigation into Musk. Is there a more apt symbolism for Musk's relationship to the United States than one of his passion projects raining trash over Americans' heads while simultaneously hampering crucial services? One thing for certain, Elon sure can Musk shit up. 2 U.S. Army soldiers and a former soldier were arrested Thursday, accused in indictments of selling military secrets to buyers in China, according to the Department of Justice. The 2 U.S. Army active duty soldiers were identified as Yan Zhao and Li Tian, stationed at the Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington State. Zhao, a battery supply sergeant, was assigned to the 17th Artillery Brigade, and Tian is a health services administrator. A former soldier, Ruoyu Duan of Hillsboro, Oregon, served in the Army from 2013 to 2017. And I apologize sincerely if I've gotten any of those names correct. Tian and Duan were both charged with conspiring to commit bribery and theft of government property. Zhao faces the same charge and was also indicted for obtaining and transmitting national defense information to an unnamed individual not authorized to receive it. Trump thought that the tariffs would make buying American secrets too expensive. Trump is also mad because selling out America is his main source of income, and those DEI spies are crowding his corner. Rodney McMullen, the chairman and CEO of Kroger, the nation's largest grocery store chain, and the parent company of King Soopers and City Market, resigned this week after an internal investigation into his personal conduct. Kroger's board, quote, retained outside independent counsel to conduct an investigation, close quote, overseen by a special committee, according to a statement released by the grocery store giant. It's unclear what conduct prompted the investigation, but I suspect that it wasn't good conduct. You can only be fired for doing your job well if you work for the federal government. McMullen, who forfeited $11.4 million in unvested stock and options. Oh, yeah, he really fucked up. Sorry, sorry. McMullen will be replaced by board member Ronald Sargent. He has been on the company's board for 19 years and, as far as we know, hasn't been caught up in any kind of scandal yet. And finally, my Yeah, I Said-It-Torial. On Tuesday evening, I watched and recorded convicted felon, unregistered sex offender, public housing resident Donald Trump as he addressed the joint houses of Congress. Trump has had 5 such speeches. This one had the worst TV ratings of any of the 5. Now, I know that Trump is a McDonald's guy, but his speech should have been sponsored by Burger King because of all of the Whoppers Trump was serving up. I do not have the time or the inclination to go lie by lie by lie by lie. And that is the point. Trump wants us to be so busy fact checking him that we forget to cover the damage that he's doing. Let's start with the latest jobs report. We are having the worst job record since February 2020. Private employers only added 77,000 jobs, well below the 186,000 jobs created in January, Biden's last month, and short of the estimated 148,000 jobs anticipated. As a result, the Trump administration going forward are going to either hide or manipulate the data so that his numbers do not look so bad. If you doubt me, think back to the beginning of COVID. Trump didn't want a cruise ship of American citizens to dock in Seattle because he'd have to count them among the COVID cases, and it would make his numbers look worse. He also did not want testing because, as he put it, if you test more, you'll find more cases, and that will hurt his numbers. That's just who he is, a liar and a cheat. Trump said in his speech that he wants to protect this country with a golden dome, similar to the Iron Dome Israel has. Trump thinks a gold dome is better than an iron dome. While gold is shiny and a great conductor for electricity, it is a soft metal, much softer than iron. But that is Trump. He doesn't care about function or form as long as it looks good on TV. The stock market was down 5% this week, losing $2 trillion in value before ending up at a mere 3% loss for the week. That $2 trillion loss is approximately $6,000 per household, if every household had stock. This is all due to his tariff fiasco. Tariffs are on, then postponed, then on again, then postponed again, then on again. As a result, people's 401k's values are dropping. Not to mention corn and soy prices are down, and Trump is holding up money that was promised to farmers. This is when they buy their seeds to plant in the spring for the fall harvest. No money, no seeds. No seeds, no planting. No planting, no sowing. No sowing, no reaping. No reaping, we're weeping. Even though our farmers are beginning to feel the hurt, Trump just opened the door for the United States to receive migrant farmers from South Africa, and he says their paperwork will be expedited. Trump tanked the Ukraine talks, stopped all aid and intelligence sharing in order to force Ukraine back to the table and make them sign over half of their rare earth minerals, or as Trump calls them, rare earth. Well, I would love to celebrate another day of living, but I will settle for keeping me out of the storm. Speaking of storms, due to cuts to NOAA, Alaska, New York, and Maine cannot launch their weather balloons so that they can collect critical weather data. Trump ordered that all references to DEI be removed from the military website database. This includes references to a Sergeant Major AC Gay and the Enola Gay. Now, I don't expect you to know who Sergeant Major AC Gay is, but if you do not know the Enola Gay, not only are you ignorant of American history, you are missing out on a very catchy orchestral maneuvers in the dark song. Trump had all 178 immigrants removed from Guantanamo Bay and relocated to camps in the jungles of Venezuela. I think. That was last week. He's just trying to hide them from their attorneys and the press. And to top it off, Trump says that he's bringing free speech back to America. And to celebrate, Republicans have canceled all, that's all, town hall meetings so that they do not have to face their constituents and answer questions. The only free speech Trump is interested in is money. Your money into his pockets. His worth has increased by tens of billions of dollars since he's been in office. How much has your wealth increased since January 20th? Trump wants you to accept the onslaught of hardship while he hardens his financial coffers. He wants us to blame Musk for the shit and praise him for what exactly? Oh yeah, for being Trump. Well, fuck that and fuck him. That was my I Said-It-Torial. And I'm GD Fenderson, certified forensic humorist, now with new joke technology and 13% more snark. Thank you for watching Critical Joke Theory, where our motto is, I purport, you decide if you decided right. If you enjoyed it, please like and share it. And please check out Done Way Past Funny on YouTube, Knob TV, and Spark TV. Also watch The Church of Last Resort streaming live on Sundays on YouTube at 9 a.m. Eastern. And feel free to check out my website at www.sogdfunny.com to access more of my content. Be safe out there and don't feed the crazies. Critical Joke Theory with your host, GD Fenderson, certified forensic humorist. Now with new joke technology.